There's a secret that narcissists don't want you to know. A psychological transformation so powerful that it doesn't just end their control over you, it makes them actively afraid to be near you. This isn't about revenge. It's not about playing games or using manipulation tactics. What I'm about to share with you is something far more profound. It's about becoming a version of yourself that a narcissist simply cannot tolerate. By the time you finish listening to this, you'll understand why your authenticity is their greatest nightmare and how to weaponize your own wholeness against their manipulation. Let's dive and imagine a magnificent castle. Towering walls of white stone gates made of gold and a throne room that glitters with jewels. From the outside, it looks impenetrable, powerful, untouchable. This is the image a narcissist projects to the world. But here's what most people never discover. If you could walk through a hidden passage into that castle, past the grand halls and the polished marble floors, you'd find something shocking. The entire structure is hollow. There are no servants, no treasure, no life. At the very center, where a beating heart should be, there's nothing but empty space, a dark, cold void that echoes with. Silence. This void is the narcissist's most carefully guarded secret. Everything they do, every manipulation, every term offensive, every cruel word, it all serves one purpose: to keep you from seeing this emptiness, and more importantly, to keep themselves from feeling it. You see, narcissists aren't born this way. Something happened in their childhood. When they were young, they needed to see themselves reflected in the eyes of their caregivers. They needed to be seen valued and loved for who they truly were, but that didn't happen. Instead, the mirror they looked into was broken, their real feelings were dismissed, their authentic self was rejected. They learned a devastating lesson: who I really am is not acceptable, so they did what any child would. Due to survive, they buried their true self deep underground, locked it away in a psychological dungeon, and in its place they built a new identity. A false self, a suit of shining armor designed to get them the attention and validation they desperately needed. But here's the problem: that armor is hollow. It has no internal source of power, no battery of its own, which means it needs fuel, and that fuel is you, your attention, your emotional reactions, your anger, your cheers, your admiration, your fear. All of it is energy that keeps their false self alive. Without you feeding them, the armor starts to rust. The emptiness begins to seep through, and they're forced to confront the one thing they've been running from their entire life: their own inner void. This is why they can't leave you alone. This is why they keep coming back. You are not a person to them. You are a power source, but what happens when you stop being their battery? What happens when you become something they've never encountered before? That's what we're about to explore. Narcissists have a superpower. They can read people. They know exactly where your wounds are, where your insecurities hide, where your boundaries are weakest. They've spent their entire lives perfecting this skill because their survival depends on it. But there's one thing they cannot handle, one psychological force that short circuits their entire system. It's called the authentic mirror. Let me explain what this means. Narcissists use a defense mechanism called projection. They take all the parts of themselves. They hate the selfishness, the cruelty, the emptiness, and they throw them onto you. You're so selfish. Translation: I'm selfish, but I can't admit it. You're the one with the problem. Translation: I can't face my own problems. You're crazy. Translation: my reality is falling apart. For most people, these projections stick. You absorb them. You start questioning yourself. Am I really selfish? Am I really crazy? And that's exactly what they need. As long as you're carrying their shame, they don't have to feel it. But when you become the authentic mirror, something extraordinary happens. Their projections don't stick anymore. Instead, they bounce right back. Your calm becomes a reflecting surface. Your clarity becomes a spotlight, and suddenly they're forced to see a glimpse of themselves, the parts they've been running from their entire life. This is unbearable for them. It's not just uncomfortable, it's psychologically suffocating your peace. highlights their chaos. Your honesty exposes their lies. Your wholeness reveals their fragmentation. They can feel it even if they can't articulate it. And it terrifies them, but here's the thing, you can't fake this mirror. You can't perform it or pretend. It has to be real, which means you need to build it from the inside out, and that requires 3 foundations. 3 pillars of psychological strength that will make you untouchable. Let me show you what they are. The first pillar is self-knowledge. And I don't mean surface-level self-awareness, I mean the deep, uncomfortable, transformative kind. Most of us walk through life with blind spots. Parts of ourselves we refuse to see, anger we've buried, needs we've denied, shadows we've exiled. From childhood, we learned that certain parts of us were unacceptable, so we pushed them down into the basement of our psyche and locked the door. Don't be angry. These rejected parts don't disappear. They become what's called the shadow. And here's the problem. The narcissist can see your shadow even when you can't. They know exactly which buttons to push because those buttons are connected to the parts of yourself you're ashamed of, want to become immune. You need to do something radical. You need to turn on the lights in that basement. You need to meet your shadow face to face. This means getting brutally honest with yourself. Yes, you have anger. Yes, you have needs. Yes, you're imperfect. And that's not just okay, it's powerful when you reclaim your shadow, something magical happens. The narcissist loses their leverage. They try to shame you for being selfish. You smile. Yes, I prioritize my well-being. That's healthy. They try to manipulate you through guilt. You're unmoved. I'm at peace with my choices. They try to exploit your people-pleasing. There's nothing to exploit. You've already given yourself permission to say no. You see, narcissists prey on internal division. They slip through the cracks in your self-acceptance. But when you become whole, when light and shadow are integrated, there are no cracks left to exploit. You become a unified fortress, not through defense, but through acceptance. This is the foundation, but it's only the beginning. The second pillar is emotional sovereignty. And this is where most people struggle. Here's the truth, narcissists are emotional vampires. They feed on your reactions. Your joy inflates their ego. Your anger proves their power. Your tears validate their control. Any reaction is better than no reaction, because your emotions are proof that they matter, that they exist, that they have impact. But what happens when you stop giving them that energy? Emotional independence means your internal state is no longer controlled by external events. It means you found an inner source of stability that no one can disturb. This isn't about suppressing your feelings, it's about changing your relationship with them. Most people are controlled by their emotions. They feel anger and become anger. They feel sadness and become sadness. But when you develop emotional sovereignty, you become the observer of your emotions. You feel anger, but you're not consumed by it. You notice it, understand it, and choose how to respond. This creates something the narcissist cannot comprehend. You become a closed system, self-sufficient, self-validating. They try to love bomb you with praise. It's nice, but you don't need it. Your sense of worth comes from within. They try to punish you with the silent treatment. You enjoy the peace. You're comfortable alone with yourself. They try to provoke you with insults. You observe it with detached curiosity, like watching a child have a tantrum. This state is psychologically devastating to them. Their entire identity is built on the belief that they are the center of your emotional universe, that they control your weather. When they discover you generate your own sunshine, create your own storms, and exist in perfect balance without them, it's like discovering gravity. It doesn't apply to you. They can't process it, and their system starts to shut down. But there's one final pillar you need. The third pillar is boundary sovereignty. And this is the one that seals everything together. Most people think boundaries are walls, high, thick barriers that keep people out. But that's not quite right. Real boundaries are more like water, flexible yet unbreakable, clear yet not rigid. Narcissists are boundary violators by nature. They don't see you as a separate person. You're an extension of them, a tool for their use. But when you develop sovereign boundaries, something shifts. You no longer need to announce your limits or defend them. They simply are. It's not a performance. It's a natural expression of where you end and another person begins. Here's what this looks like in practice. When a narcissist pushes against your boundary, you don't push back. You simply remain yourself. They demand your time. That doesn't work for me. No explanation, no justification. They cross a line. You calmly remove yourself. No drama, no lecture. They try to guilt you. You feel the attempt slide off like water off glass. This creates something narcissists cannot handle. They're looking for something to push against, something to break through. But there's nothing there. It's like punching water. Their force passes through harmlessly because you're not resisting. You're just being. When all three pillars are in place: self-knowledge, emotional independence, and sovereign boundaries, something remarkable happens. You become the authentic mirror, not as a tactic, but as a natural state of being. And the narcissist's world begins to crack when you embody this authentic mirror. The narcissist doesn't consciously understand what's happening. They just feel it. Your presence becomes uncomfortable, suffocating. Even first, they'll escalate. They'll try harder, lie bigger, rage louder. This is what psychologists call the extinction burst, the final desperate attempt to regain control. But when that doesn't work, when you remain unmoved, something shifts. They start avoiding you, not in an obvious way. They won't announce it or admit defeat, but you'll notice patterns. They'll stop seeking one-on-one time with you. They'll only interact in groups where others can buffer the discomfort. They'll always be too busy when you're around. Sudden emergencies, prior commitments, last-minute conflicts. When forced to be in your presence, they'll fidget, avoid eye contact, change the subject when you speak, leave the room as quickly as possible. And here's the most telling sign: they'll start talking about you to others, calling you difficult, negative, weird, but they can't explain why. They can't give specific examples because the truth is they don't consciously know why you make them uncomfortable. They just know that being near you feels wrong, threatening, dangerous. Your authenticity triggers something deep in their psyche, a survival instinct that says, stay away from this person because you represent everything they cannot be: genuine, integrated, free. You are the light, and they are creatures that can only survive in darkness. Before we end, there's something crucial you need to understand. This path only works if your intentions are pure. If you try to use these techniques as weapons, if you're doing this for revenge or to manipulate them back, you'll fail. Worse, you'll become what you're fighting against. Narcissists have a radar for inauthenticity. They'll see through performed confidence or strategic indifference instantly. True immunity comes from genuine transformation, real self-knowledge, actual emotional independence, authentic boundaries. The difference is everything, and they can sense it. Here's the ultimate paradox: the less you need to protect yourself from others, the more naturally protected you become. When you become so genuinely yourself that manipulation has nothing to hook into, you become like water. Impossible to grasp, impossible to strike, completely open and completely safe at the same time, making a narcissist fear you forever isn't really about them at all. It's about you becoming so completely and authentically yourself that their world of lies and manipulation becomes impossible in your presence, not because you resist it, but because there's nothing false left in you for it to grab onto. When you achieve this level of psychological development, narcissists don't fear you because of any action you take. They fear you because of who you've become. They fear you because you represent everything. They cannot be genuine, integrated, truly free, and in the process of becoming someone, they fear you become someone you and everyone worthy of your presence can finally trust and respect completely. This is not the end of your journey. It's the true beginning. You've learned how to become the mirror that the narcissist cannot endure. Now it's time to walk forward into the freedom you've reclaimed. The power was always yours. You just needed to remember how to use it.